name is Bristle, and you're watching Mr. Amir's Cartoon Class.
Thank you, Bristle, for the introduction. Today we are going to work on our beginner classes. So our beginner classes are for our newer drawers in our community, and we are going to be making our first character, Bluey. Bluey is a new interesting character that has been introduced into pop culture within the last 5 years. He's, of course, like this generation's Blue's Clues, very educational content, very moral, lesson learning based content, and generally it's just a great show. So, to show you guys how to draw Bluey, I'm going to start off by getting our pencil together and getting our canvas together. And we're going to end up painting him towards the end of the class, and you guys will be able to see how Bluey turns out with all his colors included and built out from here throughout the entire process of making this. Alright guys, so now that we got everything set together, let's get ready to begin. Alright, so Bluey's main body shape and his main body structure is actually a rectangle. So you're going to make just a solid rectangle. And you're going to make sure you take up most of the space because he's not that big outside of his rectangle. You're going to make a little rectangle, but you're going to make sure that you make sure the corners of your edges of your rectangle are actually rounded off. You don't want sharp corners, you want rounded corners. Making sure that your character is fully rounded out and made sure that it's fully created to the point where you get this first shape. Alright, next up, I'm going to start building out his snout. So his snout, very simple, is you're going to just come out, draw this line, and you want it just to come out just a little bit beyond where you have this rectangle shape. You guys see? Okay, then you're going to curve that down, but make sure it's very wide because it's his snout of his mouth. Right? Boom. It kind of looks like a little half a sailboat on his nose. And what you're going to do is you're going to erase this little line right here in the shell. Okay, and when you're outlining, you're just following the lines that you've already previously made. So if you're making any mistakes over in this portion, then you're not following your own rules. Now, of course, everybody creates lines differently and in different ways, but when you lay down your foundation for the characters you're building out, even if you mess up here or there, you make a line a little incorrect, majority of the piece should look exactly the same, but it's those little imperfections that you see in your own work that you start to question if that is what you personally did wrong within your own work. See, so as I'm outlining, you're starting to see Bluey come together in the outlining format, and then after this, we are going to start to paint. And painting is a fun process. The painting process is where we get to start to add some color to him. And because Bluey has so many different shapes and colors and lines or what have you, his stuff looks very, when you look at his painted version of himself, he has a lot of different tones of colors that contrast against each other within blues, hence the name Bluey, I guess, because you got a lot of dark blues, light blues, and then you have his cream color white, his regular color white, his pink in his ears, his blue eyes, but they're different blues than the blue in his skin, and some of his dots and his polka dots. Alright guys, so now where we're going to begin is now the painting side. These are going to be the colors that you guys need when you're painting Bluey in. Making sure that you have your dark blues, your light blues, and your even lighter blues. Okay, and you're gonna have your brush, of course. We're gonna start off with the lightest part of Bluey's body, which is his light blue. So we're gonna add some of this light blue into here, which is the pouch of his stomach. It's a mixture of a light blue and a white, making it this brighter color, light blue. Making sure that the character gets his full coloration through colors that you put in to the piece. Making sure that everything is shown in ways you see possible. Everything. Make sure we finished up all the parts that need to be finished up in those lighter blues and those darker blues. Okay, so now we're gonna start adding this yellow to wash off my brush. Make sure you guys always remember to wash off your brush before you start on the next color, because if you don't, those previous colors from your brush will be able to be seen when you're painting in. You see this light yellow is now its own section and color. Something wrong, we're just going to fill this whole bad boy in with this light yellow for Bluey's snout. It goes all the way around, curves around and down. Okay. As you guys finish up his snout, as well as the inside of his ears, which is this yellow as well. And then we're going to move on to our darker blue colors once we complete. So here are our yellows. And then all we need is now our darker blues. So now you're going to have this darker blue, and you're going to fill in all the rest of these parts with this darker blue that you've created, mixing a regular blue color, a blue shade, with a little bit of black, giving you this. Sometimes paints come in thinner and thicker, depending on the brand that you get. So the cheaper the brand, the thinner the coat of paint will be. And so if you can afford the good stuff, I would say get the good stuff, because it only takes one layer of paint to just get it through. But if you can't afford the good stuff, then by any means, like myself, go buy the stuff at Michael's or Blick, mostly Michael's, if you really are trying to go cheap. And if you're really trying to go to cheap, go to Hobby Lobby. It depends on what state you live in, but these are the places that we have out here in New York. Because as a New Yorker, most of us are artists. You know, a lot of us come here from other states to be enthralled in the arts. For me, I was born in it. You decided to move to the arts. I was born in it. So, as a born natural Brooklynite, you know, take my art very, very seriously. But not too seriously because, you know, I'm also creating cartoons. So a lot of the times when you're creating a cartoon, how serious can you get when you're trying to make a character like squash and stretch and slam coyotes and hit road runners and all this other stuff? Like, there's literally no way in fashion that you would be able to continue to take cartooning seriously if you're not thinking of it as a silly format in itself. So you're going to continue, you can add some of this dark blue over here on the edge of this tail as well. You guys are basically there. Basically almost done with bluey. And after our bluey, we're going to give it one more outline when it's dried off. And maybe I'll add some white to his pupils. Okay. We'll definitely put an outline over it again. Make sure that you re-outline your characters, especially when you're doing cartooning, because a lot of the times you create, you paint, we do all this portion, and when we're painting, we go over the lines that we already set out for ourselves, and sometimes we just need to make it pop a little bit more and re-outlining your characters after the painting is dried is a very, very, very good way of making sure that you maintain the quality of the line work that you put in originally, so you don't look back at it and be like, well, it doesn't look like what I wanted it to look like. It doesn't look like what you wanted it to look like because you didn't re-outline the lines that you put there before. So usually what I do is I re-outline after I finish every painting, or most paintings, just so I can have that bolder look and it really stands out on the page because you can see those black lines as the spectator of the painting. A lot of what goes into painting is all perspective of how people view the piece and can see the piece, and what significant emotional attachment that it brings to them. Now, a lot of times that could be found with not just only the character, but also the background that's made around it. And a lot of times when people are purchasing art, they're purchasing art from an artist because they genuinely just resemble or, you know, resonate with the artist that's creating the pieces for them. For me, my main goal with art is just to get people to really want to make it. You know, I want you guys to make art. I make art every day for myself, and you know, I do either 1 to 2 pieces a day, depends on how I'm feeling. If I can convince everybody to want to do at least 1 piece a day, or 1 piece of artwork a week, let alone every day, you will immediately start to appreciate what art is in everyone's everyday life. You know, being able to really appreciate art in its most raw form. Give me 1 second. But to appreciate art in its most raw form, where you're creating something from concept to finish, just telling yourself, hey, I want to make this one thing. Main reason why I've started this series because when I started painting, I had, of course, my father who inspired me to paint, but he never really taught me what the basis of painting was and each step by step. And every time I would want to create something, I'm going based off of my, imagination on how to draw these different characters and how to draw these different things. But I don't have a full grasp I didn't have a full grasp on how to get there. And so it took me many years of trial and error of different cartoon styles and different anime styles. Like, specifically, the hardest ones for me was creating an anime character and illustrating an anime character. The main reason why is because we as American drawers and American animators, we see a lot of our works in a very bouncy and circular way, where a lot of Japanese artworks are more sharp-edged and lined, sharp-edged and triangular. And so, because it's more of a sharper edge and a triangular motion, fudge knuckle, because I got some blue on my gloves and some blue on my bluey. It's okay, you can catch it early. Time, guys, when you come in and do your next characters, and then you want to do your next project, shall I say. You can start off with Bluey. Alright. There you go, guys. There's our excitable, happy, go lucky, young, astounded. You have our astounded Bluey. Made completely from scratch. Coconuts have water in them, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this video and this tutorial of how you guys can draw Bluey, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.